One afternoon in the year 1284, the town of Hamelin lost 130 children, not to plague, not to war. According to the legend, they followed a man with a pipe and vanished before their parents finished singing a hymn. Hamelin still stands beside the river Weser, and one narrow lane, Bungelosenstrasse, still carries an old rule against music and dancing. To understand that silence, we have to go back to the noise that came first. Before anyone called him a monster, the piper was a working man looking for honest pay. He arrived outside Hamelin in a coat stitched from many colors, carrying nothing but a wooden pipe and a promise no one else could make. Inside the walls, rats had taken the town. They gnawed through sacks of winter grain, they nested beneath floorboards. At night, families woke to scratching inside the walls and teeth working through pantry doors. The baker opened his flour chest one morning and found it moving. A mother lifted her baby's cradle and saw rats beneath it. By noon, the market had closed. By evening, people were asking how long their food would last. The council tried traps. The rats ate the bait and ignored the iron. They brought in cats. The cats disappeared into the alleys. Each failed answer left Hamelin hungrier, more frightened, and more willing to promise anything. If old mysteries and dark adventures are your kind of story, subscribe to Wandering Tales, because the price Hamelin promised this stranger was about to cost far more than money. The piper walked directly to the town hall. "I can clear every rat from Hamelin before nightfall," he told the mayor. "When I do, you will pay me 1,000 guilders." It was a fortune. But a town without food would soon be worth nothing. In front of his council and the people crowded at the doors, the mayor gave his word. 1,000 guilders paid in full if the rats disappeared. The piper asked for no weapon and no helper. He climbed onto the stone well in the square, lifted the pipe to his lips, and played 3 clear notes. For one breath, nothing happened. Then a rat emerged from beneath the bakery door. Another climbed from a drain. 10 became 100, and the sound beneath the street became a rolling thunder of claws. They came from cellars, barns, bedrooms, and walls. Thousands gathered around the well, all facing the same man. When the piper stepped down, the entire swarm turned with him. He walked through Hamelin slowly enough for everyone to see. Behind him, the rats flowed like a black river. Ahead of him, doors opened onto streets that had been overrun only moments before and were suddenly empty. The piper passed through the eastern gate and followed the road down to the Weser. The rats followed every turn. Even at the water's edge, not one broke away. He stepped into the current without lowering his pipe. The rats rushed after him. The river closed over the last of them, and then there was only the music, the water, and a town holding its breath behind him. Back in Hamelin, the silence felt impossible. The baker opened his flour chest and found only flour. Children set bread on the floor and nothing came to steal it. For the first time in months, families ate without listening to the walls. By nightfall, bells were ringing, lanterns filled the square, cups were raised to the mayor, who accepted every cheer as though he had played the pipe himself. At the edge of the crowd, the piper waited for someone to remember the promise. No one did. So the next morning, the piper returned to the town hall and held out his hand. "The rats are gone," he said. "I have come for what you owe me." The mayor placed a much smaller pouch on the table. 100 guilders, he said. Generous payment for a tune that lasted one afternoon. The piper looked past him to the councilman who had witnessed the bargain. Not one met his eyes. Yesterday, Hamelin had needed a miracle. Today, it had decided the miracle was too expensive. "You gave your word," the piper said. The mayor leaned back. "And you have been offered payment. Take it, or leave with nothing." The piper left the coins untouched. He didn't shout. He didn't threaten anyone. At the doorway, he stopped only once. "Hamelin will pay its debt," he said. Then he walked away. That should have frightened them. Instead, the mayor laughed, locked the guilders away, and ordered the bargain removed from the council ledger. By sunset, the stranger's warning had become a joke told over supper. Days passed. The granaries stayed full. Hamelin grew loud again. But one evening, a child near the eastern gate heard 3 notes drifting from the hills, the same 3 notes that had emptied the town of rats. The child told her father. Her father blamed the wind. By morning, the story had reached the mayor, who called it nonsense. Still, he checked the lock on the guilders twice before going to church. The legend says the piper returned while Hamelin's parents were gathered in church. He no longer wore his patchwork coat. This time he came dressed in green, like a huntsman, with a red cap and the same wooden pipe. He didn't knock at the town hall. He didn't ask for the mayor. He stood beside the well, raised the pipe, and played a new melody, brighter, lighter, made for dancing feet. Doors opened across Hamelin. Children stepped into the streets, first curious, then smiling. They left toys on tables and bread on plates. One by one, they joined the tune. Soon the square was full of them. Boys, girls, older sisters carrying younger brothers, every child moving to the same rhythm. Inside the church, the organ played loudly enough that no parent heard the second song. The piper led them through the same eastern gate the rats had crossed. But at the road to the river, he turned away from the water and climbed toward the hills. Until that turn, the piper had been the wronged man in this story. The mayor had cheated him, and the council had helped conceal it, but the children had made no promise. They owed him nothing. Still they followed, laughing as Hamelin shrank below them. One boy fell behind and stopped to catch his breath. By the time he looked up, the procession had reached a wall of bare stone. The piper played a final phrase. A doorway opened in the mountain, an arch of darkness where no opening had been before. Golden light spilled across the grass, and the children walked toward it without fear. The boy on the path tried to call out, but the music swallowed his voice. The piper entered first. The children followed him into the rock, still smiling, still keeping time. The last child crossed the threshold. The music stopped, and before the boy could reach them, the mountain closed, stone meeting stone, until no door, crack, or footprint remained. The boy pressed his hands against the rock and called every name he knew. Nothing answered. Then the church bells began below, and he understood that Hamelin did not yet know what it had lost. He ran downhill as quickly as he could. Behind him, the mountain remained silent. Ahead, the church doors opened, and parents stepped into a square without a single child. At first, people called into nearby houses. Then they searched bedrooms, workshops, and alleys. The mayor found a small red shoe near the well and stopped giving orders. The boy arrived breathless and pointed toward the hills. Search parties ran for the eastern gate, carrying ropes, lanterns, and tools. Parents followed, calling names into the gathering dark. They struck the mountain with hammers. They searched every path and hollow. All night, lanterns moved across the hillside like falling stars. They found no doorway, no piper, and not one of the children. Messengers rode along every road from Hamelin. Boats searched the Weser. The town waited through morning, then another night. No answer came back. According to Hamelin's tradition, 130 children were lost. No one knows what event lies beneath the legend. Some theories speak of migration, others of disaster. More than 7 centuries later, the mystery remains unsolved. The town marked the loss in stone, and the lane the children were said to have crossed became Bungelosenstrasse, the street without drums, where music and dancing were forbidden as an act of remembrance. The rats may belong to the legend's later telling. The broken promise may be the story's way of explaining an older grief. But the name Hamelin, the year 1284, and the memory of its lost children have endured. The mayor saved 1,000 guilders. In the story told ever since, his town paid with everything it could not replace. And on one narrow street in Hamelin, the music still gives way to silence. Next, enter the village that lost its shine, where every sunset steals another color, and a young lantern maker discovers something beneath the lake is collecting the light.